Dear students, myself Dr. Mallikarjun S. Biradar, Assistant Professor in Mathematics, Government First Grade College, Basavakalyan. In the 50th session of Graph Theory 2, we are discussing about connected digraphs. The topic is connected digraphs. So there the connected graph in case of undirected. Why I am comparing with the connected and you can say the digraphs and undirected graphs. Just what is the difference you will come to know. So in case of undirected graphs, what you mean by a connected graph? A graph is said to be connected if every pair of its vertices are connected. What do you mean by every pair of vertices are connected in case of undirected graph? If there is an edge, if there is a path between every pair of vertices, then those two vertices are connected. If every pair of vertices are connected, then that graph is said to be a connected graph. But here, what is the difference between the connected digraphs and the connected graphs? That we will see here. Okay. So now, here we have got three types of connected digraphs. Okay, weakly connected, then another one is unilaterally connected and strongly connected. So in case of connected graph, there are three types. One is weakly connected digraph. What do you mean by a weakly connected digraph? A digraph D is weakly connected, or you can say it is a weak digraph. Weak digraph. If there is a semi path between any two vertices U and V. Okay, so between if there is a semi path like semi walk, what I said about the semi walk, same concept is applied for semi path. A graph D is weakly connected if there is a semi path between any two vertices U and V of D. Then it is weakly connected. What do you mean by unilaterally connected digraph? Unilaterally connected digraph. A graph D is unilaterally connected if for any two vertices, say U and V of the digraph D, there is a path from one of these vertices to the other. Means there is a path from U to V or there is a path from V to U. Then that digraph is called unilaterally connected digraph. Okay, so that is the difference between weakly connected digraph and unilaterally connected digraph. Okay, so now we will see what is the concept of strongly connected digraph. Strongly connected digraph, if for any two vertices, say U and V of D, it is of course a digraph. If for any two vertices U and V of D, there is a path from U to V and a path from V to U. So there must be a path from U to V. That is your travel is from Bangalore to Mysore. Your travel is from Bangalore to Mysore, crossing some other villages or cities in between. Similarly, there must be a journey from Mysore to Bangalore, crossing those again cities and villages in between. So such a digraph is called strongly connected digraph. So what is the difference between weakly connected? There is a semi path between two vertices. Okay, a graph is said to be unilateral if there is a path between either from one path must be there either from U to V or from V to U. Okay, one path either from U to V or from V to U. What do you mean by strongly connected digraph? Between two vertices, if you consider any two vertices U and V of the digraph D, so between these two vertices there must be a path from U to V and compulsorily there must be a path from V to U. Then such a digraph is called strongly connected digraph. Okay, so in case of weak means suppose if you are reaching from Bangalore to Mysore, what you can say, of course you have started your journey from Bangalore, but in between only you have come back. You have not reached to Mysore completely. Okay, so for example, you're transporting some goods. You are a courier boy like that. So your plan is to reach from Bangalore to Mysore, But what you did, you have traveled from Bangalore, you have reached some place in between, and you called some other person from Mysore. So you have handed over to him, and you have come back. So it implies there is no complete path from you to V, or even there is no path between V to U. Okay, so that's why such directed graph is called weak directed graph, weakly connected directed graph. Another one is you have to reach from either from Bangalore to Mysore or from Mysore to Bangalore completely. One of the ways, one way. Then it will be a unilaterally connected digraph. Then strongly connected digraph from Bangalore to Mysore and from Mysore to Bangalore. Okay, so that kind of a digraph is called strongly connected digraph. Okay, so these are the three different kinds of connected digraphs. Then if you observe properly these three concepts, what you will get in your mind? Strongly connectedness implies unilateral connectedness. Definitely, because in strongly connected digraph from U to V as well as V to U, isn't it? So there are compulsory two ways. But if one of the ways is there between U to V or U to V, that will be unilateral. It implies definitely a strongly connected digraph will be a unilaterally connected digraph. So strong connectedness implies unilateral connectedness. Similarly, unilateral connectedness implies weak connectedness. At least some part you are reaching. Of course, it is one way, but some part you are reaching. So unilaterally connectedness implies weak connectedness. But however, the converse part is not true. Okay, so one way we can say, but it is these are not the general idea we can conclude. Okay, so the converse part may not be true. So these are the some observations we have got. Okay, let me consider what you mean by disconnected. There, connected graph and disconnected graph. If it is not connected, it will be obviously it will be a disconnected graph. But similarly, the same idea is applied here. A digraph is said to be disconnected if it is not even weakly connected. That is the difference. One of the connectedness, either it should be weakly connected or unilaterally connected or strongly connected. But here it is not one of the connectedness. A digraph is said to be disconnected if it is not even weakly connected. Then that graph is called a disconnected digraph. Then what would be the trivial digraph? Trivial graph, trivial digraph. Trivial graph, there it was only one vertex without any edge. Okay, so that was the trivial graph in case of undirected graphs. Here trivial digraph, a digraph consisting of exactly one vertex. Exactly one vertex. When there is only one vertex, so that graph is called a trivial digraph, and it is obviously strong because only one vertex is there. Okay, since it does not contain two distinct vertices, so there is no question of U to V or V to U. So that's why it is strongly connected. You can say that graph is a strongly connected digraph. So it is a trivial digraph containing only one vertex. Here we have considered three examples. We have given three digraphs. You can see. Okay, how about the first one and the second one and the third one? First one, if you consider the first one, it is strictly weak. See, as I said, if you start from Bangalore, your aim is to start your journey from Bangalore and reach to Mysore. So Bangalore to Mysore. But what you did from Bangalore to some place in between, okay, and you are not reaching to Mysore. Okay, you stop there only. You ask one of your friends to come there and take those goods, isn't it? Like that. So semi path, you can say semi path from this vertex to this and this vertex. There is no complete path between two vertices. Okay, so this is an example of strictly weak, or you can say weak digraph. So the second one, between these two vertices, there is a path. Completely one path is there, one-sided path. Yes, there is a path. So it is an example of unilateral connected digraph. Unilaterally connected digraph. Third one, if you consider these two vertices, these are the two vertices. there is one path from this vertex to this vertex, which is that like this. See the direction. So one path between these two vertices. Similarly, there is a path from this vertex to the other vertex. That is, if you consider this as u and this as v, there is a path between u and v. Similarly, there is a path between v and u. So that's why it is called a strong digraph. Strongly connected digraph. So this is how we have got a clear picture about weakly connected digraph, unilaterally connected digraph, and strongly connected digraph, or you can say strong digraph. Okay, so these are the examples which we have considered on three different types of digraphs. Okay, connected digraphs, of course. So what we have discussed? We have discussed weakly connected digraph, that is a semi path. Unilaterally connected digraph, one path between two vertices. Okay, strongly connected, that is, it is called unilateral, means one way. Okay, strongly two ways between two vertices, one path from u to v, another path from v to u. Okay, so these are the three different connected digraphs, and we have observed some observations. So what are the observations that already we have discussed? Then we have discussed disconnected digraph. What is disconnected digraph? Even it is not weakly connected, then that digraph is called a disconnected digraph. At last we have discussed about a trivial digraph. That is a digraph having only one vertex is called a trivial digraph. So these are the books for the reference. You can refer any one of the books. Of course, graph theory by Professor V.R. Kuldi. So though the topic directed graph is not mentioned in this book, but the other topics are mentioned in this book. So that's why you can refer that book also. So these are the other books. One is Graph Theory by Frank Harari. Another one is a first course in graph theory by S.A. Chaudamma. Another one is a graph theory by U.S. Upadhyaya. Okay, if you want, you can refer any of the books. With this, we conclude today's session. Thank you.